What's up, y'all? So we're gonna do about this color here. Let's see which way is this working here? It doesn't seem to. Well, that might work. Okay, you can have something to look at. Let's see. Let's see what we can do here. We'll see who shows up for the dance party. Then we'll just kind of we'll just go from there and see what we're gonna talk about. See what y'all. See if anybody wants to know something. See, what time is it? Well, isn't that excellent? Here we go. Just cut me off. We'll see. We'll see how many shows I get to, we'll see if the internet's gonna get all toe up again. How's the, let's see, what side is this on here? I don't know, I might have to change this over to my phone, because this is, y'all probably can't see anything on that side, huh? Yeah, I don't know. Well, you guys don't come here to look at the pretty pictures anyways. You just come here to listen to me babble on about ridiculous shit, so we will start that. Maybe I'll put a better picture up. Let's see what we got here. But, well, I guess no one's gonna show up. I invited you all to my party, and no one showed. Oh, man. Well, we'll see. This, for anybody that sees this at a later date, we'll see what happens. I'm probably not. I'm gonna let this sit and see who shows up, and we'll start chatting a little while. So y'all just have to fast forward. But most people that come know that I'll be babbling on about something in a minute. So here we go. Is that a good picture? Here, you know what I could do? I'm gonna throw some lights on. Is that gonna help? Is that doing anything? Oh, that does. That's fun. That is fun. Oh, that is a lot of fun. All right. See, I don't even. That's actually that is a dance party light bulb. It's not even a dance party bulb from the YouTubes. Well, what time is it? It's Friday night, I guess. I guess people are doing better things at 11 o'clock on a Friday, or whatever time it is, wherever you're at. But in my city, the internet might not be working for a few days, so y'all might not see me. This is, this might be, I might not be able to connect to the internet for a few days. We'll see though, because obviously the hurricane's gonna knock the satellites out of the sky. Except there's no satellites up there. That's why the internet won't work, because it uses ground-based technology, and that's why that's why your phone doesn't work in certain areas of the mountains either. In case you didn't know that. Why else? If there were satellites, your phone would work everywhere, but it doesn't work that way. I wonder who jumps into the room and then gets off here. I wonder who that is. Who these people are. I wonder the kind of people that come to my channel. I wonder who you are. What do you need to know? What is it that you require? 4 minutes in and no one? What is this? Guess it is Friday. But this will be, I guess I'll just start rambling on about something. We're 4.5 minutes in. What do I want to talk about? Guess I kind of wanted to get in this hurricane. Maybe we can get into weather modification and the cellular devices there. There we go. We probably start with those. We get into the trees, ancient technology, how do computers work, radio broadcasts, the human body, different algorithms, different sets of thoughts and consciousness. Can your thoughts really change your vibration of your being? It was like, oh, raise your consciousness and awareness. And can you really do that with your thoughts? Because Isn't it interesting that your thoughts are never really truly yours? So how could you raise your consciousness with those thoughts? Like, I just happen to choose and pick these thoughts that go through my head. Out of the billion different random thoughts that will go through my head, what do I choose to actually speak? What is the difference? These thoughts, can I raise the frequency of my entire body, my being? I mean, I know there's certainly some things to do with sacred symbolism and different types of mantras that can alter things, and there's definitely speaking things forth that can create things. These things are obvious, but just the general concept that the public has about, oh man, yeah, all you got to do is you know think and grow rich. I mean, yeah, it's not that simple. If it was that simple, everybody would be doing it. There's a lot more to the process. There's a lot more to life. There's a lot more to the mental universe, the spiritual, the physical places that we exist within and around and inside of our body, because there's more to it than that. Because obviously, if our minds were doing what we're told that they can do, then we would have equanimity. We would have love and harmony everywhere, because the power of because there's a good number of people that totally, truly believe that with their heart and mind and everything, but yet it doesn't exist everywhere. So what we have to see is that there is something wrong with, not wrong, but not completely divulged in the teachings that come out of these authors, the 100,000 different authors with self-help books. They're telling everybody how to get rich tomorrow. Here's a book. Here's how you can become this. All of your dreams will come true. Well, I don't. Those books are written for the purpose of making that person's dreams come true, and through the monetary system, not truly making dreams come true, because the dreams that I have, I don't believe would exist in this physical reality. The types of things that go on in my head during my dreams, man, different creatures, different things going on, colors that don't exist in this reality, flowers that don't exist here. There's a lot of different things. So this concept of thinking and manifesting and architecting, even. See, that's why I get into the word architecting. It's because it's more encompassing of what really needs to happen for someone to create a reality. It's not you don't get to read a book by one of these silly authors that claims to know how to the secret, the golden key to how to make your life better. They compress literally a life's work and undertaking. What up, Zet Chrono, Axe, and Ben Hayes? Never seen you around these parts here. What up? So they take all of these magical, wonderful ideas that they found, and while it's a great service to try to help people by making it simple to, hey, this is all you need to do, just implement this. It's really not that simple, and that's why I've used through the course of my videos this concept of architecting, or being a bridge worker, or being a getting into consciousness in a much more expansive way, because you don't to participate in 24 hours in one day of being fully aware is very difficult. You couldn't. You're gonna forget a breath. You're gonna let some of your thoughts go. To be completely focused for 1 hour on anything is a level of mastery that is so far out of the reach of pretty much 99% of people. And so if you can't do that, then how do you expect to even enjoy whatever fruits you may get from your, oh yeah, I'm gonna think this great thing and get myself that car that I wanted. Yeah, you might manifest it, but that's not gonna change or alter the quality of life. And so I find something very interesting about all of these books are all about making money and all about altering even parts of the consciousness, but nobody ever talks about the framework of it or what it actually means to be an architect. To be an architect, you need to know symbols. You need to have an eye and a hand. You need to be symbol literate, and you need to be able to draw it out. You need to imagine. You need to have vision, like real, true vision, and you need to be able to have a vision to the sense where you can compress a three-dimensional reality into two dimensions, but you know exactly what it looks like. That's that kind of architecture is what people need to comprehend to be able to build a reality for themselves. And you need to do that basically in four dimensions, if we can go that far, and to really kind of conceptualize what the fourth dimension is. Really has something to do with the concept of space and time, which really just means a state of awareness. It just means a movement of energy. But even at that, we're talking about people. They want to say, hey, just think new thoughts, and you'll be better for having thought new thoughts. It's not that simple. It's ridiculous to try to say that to somebody. Oh no, just don't be upset. Oh no, just think something different. That's a literal impossibility. You don't get to choose the thoughts that go through your head, and so we're already off to the races without even know what's going on. Like if I would, how foolish. I would feel like an idiot if I told somebody that, like, oh, just go ahead and think something else, knowing the mind as well as I do, knowing because I know my own mind. Like, I know that I can't do that, but I do know that if I can start to focus on my thoughts, and if I know that I can extrapolate ideas into future, and I know that I can kind of dive into other people's minds and concepts and my own history, and dive into different places and see it from a different perspective, then I can start to extrapolate a larger concept and larger idea to architect something. And that's really what these books fail to do. They can't do, because they're coming from people that don't care about that. They want to think and grow rich and write a book, and they're going to think that they grow rich, and they do, and they're going to get their $100,000 check for writing that book, and good for them. I mean, I'm taking nothing away from them. Good for them, but they still have they're not doing a service to everyone else, and they're not really doing a true service to themselves either, because I don't think the 99% of them know what's going on. They're going to enjoy it for a second, and then they're going to be very, for the majority of them, because obviously if I've read the books, I'm like, oh, well, then I see how their mind works, and they're not giving the whole system to people. It's kind of like people that talk about computers. They're like, oh, you get these computer nerds. Linux is the best, and they hate the Apple. Everybody's the Apple fanboys. And you got that from that concept. It's because of how much control you have over architecting the framework of reality. Like, for them, that's the thing. But then you have people out here that just want the push button, give me the answer. An Apple society, right? I mean, I want an Apple computer, but from conceptually, I want the Linux program. That's what I want to work with. That's why I want to show people about the mind. But I want a push button computer, so I can show that to people, so I can get into all of that. Hey, what up, John Steven Fernandez? I'm doing all right. Just was going on and on about. I started the first couple minutes with a little bit of a meditation about a hurricane, the hurricane, and saying this was going to be. I might not have internet for a few days, and so then I just kind of melded that into a couple concepts of manifesting realities and different kind of books that are out there written on how people prescribe and inscribe ideas about how do you create a future. And I say people do a very piss poor job of it, because they don't give you all of the keys and tools. And I think they also know that most people aren't willing to put the work in for it. If you knew how much work it would take to really, so you could actually enjoy it, to like it. Here, let me try this little simple concept. If anybody's ever had somebody, growing up, if your parents bought you a car, you probably beat on it, you probably shit on it. But if you had to work for it and pay for it, you'd take a lot better care of it. And that's the same thing with the mind. But most people are so far out, they're so far inside of their mind that they don't even know how to use it. They don't know how to operate it. and the kind of work it would take to get outside of your mind, you need to like literally get a sledgehammer inside of your brain and crack your way out to be, like to get out of to go out of your mind. You go insane to be out of your mind. Imagine that one. So that way you can conceive of how it works and then start to recreate it correctly. You gotta blow the whole thing up in your brain so that way you can see the pieces and bits of information and start correcting and imbalances, making a framework, showing how the architecture of whatever your life should be, whatever you'd like it to be. But that takes a lot. Most people don't have the time. They don't want that. Nobody, you know, everybody wants to be Michael Jordan, but you do not want to be at the basketball gym as long as he was. No, you do not. You do not want to put those hours in. Everybody wants it, right? No, you don't. You don't want it. That's the point. That's the point of the whole thing, of everything in life. Nobody really wants it, because if you did and you knew how much work it would take, you'd immediately go, no, I'm good with what I got. People that want to go, oh, I want all this, then I want the. You have to take everything that goes with it. You want to be powerful, you got to do the things that will make you powerful. People like, oh, you want an easy life, you want this or that. Like, I don't know. You want to put the work in, you want to put the time in, you want to put the effort, the energy. If you knew, like, and that's what I do with all of this is I show people like, yeah, I try to make it as easy and simple as possible. But the end of the day, it's your work, it's your magnus opus, it's your magnum opus. It's your book, it's your life, it's your entity. So whatever you take of this is for you to put into whatever you want it to be. Shit, if you want to live at the beach collecting seashells and surfing, fuck yeah, go for it. Why were you? Ha 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 ha. Yeah. The purple. The purple's very strong, man. That's good manifestation techniques right there. See, we're talking about advancing those and upgrading those, and when you have that kind of focus that you can get that kind of result, man, you well on your way to be able to do big things. A lot of people can't even focus for 5 minutes. Oh yeah, so Ben, I just read the part, the moon deck, yeah, the moon base. So did you get my response to you? Did you read that, man? So the moon base, what the moon base is, it's just a reflex or changes it's like a vortex point of taking energy and moving it. So yeah, there is something about a base on the moon. It's a fulcrum basically for energy. Yeah, the war on our attention. That's correct. John Steven Fernandez. Yeah, well, that's the base. There you go, Ben. That's what I was just saying. It was a short one. I don't like to respond to people in typing because obviously I'm quite a bit more animated in the way that I say something. And if you took my words and you just wrote them down on a piece of paper, it would be nothing like the way that I'm saying them because I have tones and qualities to the way that I say things and even little bits of I'm kind of making a joke here, but you can't really read that in the paper. It gets lost in the translation. But well, thanks, man. I'd rather say it anyways. I used to write a lot, and then I just was like, man, it just takes too much. I can't choose the right words here. There's so many. I know the language so well that I'm like, I need to articulate this perfectly, and I know that there's so many different meanings that words have that the only thing I can really do is articulate it and speak it to give it the right tonality. It's the same reason some people can say certain words and other people cannot. How can you get away with saying that to someone and someone else cannot? You wrote that thing down on a paper and you ask somebody to say this, it's not going to work for some people. It's authentication and validation of what's going on with the way you can speak. Oh, Algin, don't worry about it, man. Don't be hard on yourself about it. Don't be hard on yourself, Algin. Doing a 1 day fast is more than 95% of people will probably ever do on the planet. So you're already, you know, it's if you can do 1 day, you're in the 5%ers. If you can do 2 days, you're in about the 1%. If you can do 3 days, I mean, again, I say don't do 3 days. I say do 4 or more. But if you could do 4 days, you're in like 0.001% of the population. If you could do 10 days, you're in a very select few. There's probably not too many. There's probably only 1 million people that are up there, you know? Maybe a few more than 1 million, but then if you get up in the upwards of 20, 30 days, rarefied. You get to 40, well, that's that's a very, very small elite group of people. And it does change something about you. Oh, you took Latin, man? That's so awesome. That's right. That's awesome. And that's true. Yeah. Ammonia is still used in a lot of countries. You can still go, and even they still collect urine now. They collect urine to find urea. Go find a bunch, do a little deeper research on urine therapy and things and find people that get into it that tell you about the products that use urea. They're collecting the urine um, from like porta-johns and from animals in other countries to get the urea, and then they turn that into makeup. Most girls are covering their face in animal piss, and they don't even know it. It's very funny. You'll find you go to the store right now and find yourself products with urea on it. That's an animal product. And if it's vegan, they might be using human piss. So go figure. Crazy, right? Yeah, and they should just be using their own because it's 1,000 times healthier. It has already their medicine in it, but then they already lost the, you know, they're like, no, that's gross. But they don't know where their products come from. They don't know what urea means. If you let them know that though, they might change their mind. Who knows? Who knows? It's funny. I learned when I first started getting into the urine therapy thing. I think some chick that was like, um, she was a model. She was like, we take the oldest trick in the book for models is to take their piss and put it on their face. It keeps their skin taut. Keeps their skin in good condition. Yeah. Zet Chrono, yeah. Eye drops are horse urine. I mean, look at the name. What's the name of eye drops? Isn't it called like something like with the name urine in it, like urine eyes or something? Isn't it? It's got a very funny name. It's like, they tell you right in the label too what it is. Oh, nice, Ben. That's so awesome. See, I tell people this. If you drink some age stuff, man, that shit will clean your brain up and your body up real quick. That propelled me to lucid dreaming very, very fast. But it might work for you, it might not, who knows, but yeah. John Stevens, sometime I leave a cup of my urine on the floor and my dog starts to drink it. Yeah. Do you let him, man? You should. You should for certain. He probably needs it. Like animals, they would drink their own. I mean, a lot of animals do. And you find tribes that use cow urine, and they use aged cow urine to put for the ammonia to make their hair orange. You find these black tribes with orange hair. They're using like literally putting their head right under the pissing cow's ass to collect, like basically put the piss in their hair, and then they collect it and make aged urine and age it and bleach their hair. Well, it's not bleach, it's ammonia, so they're ammoniating their hair, and they use it for all sorts of things, skincare, washing their clothes. I mean, this is why another reason the cow is so very revered. Birth control. So, well, there's a couple ways to go about it. In this day and age, the easiest. Okay, here. I'm gonna give you a couple ideas. That Christian calendar, if you've ever seen that, like, I mean, that didn't come originally from the Christians, but that's a good way to look at it because there's times that she just cannot get pregnant, and there's also other herbs she can look into. I believe one is called pennyroyal, and there's one more that basically are herb birth control, and there are some other things that I believe might be a good idea, but I can't speak to it too well. I would just say that there are copper, like the stuff that they insert. It seems to me, because I know of the benefits of copper anyways, but it would seem to be if she wanted to go like the 100% guaranteed route, look into the copper insert. I forget the name of the thing, but that would seem to be the healthiest. And in fact, maybe even like beyond healthy, like in the sense of she might be doing a lot of very good things to her body because, copper, silver, and gold have a lot of very good cleansing properties. But beyond that, you should look into for yourself, Montauk Chia, and you should look into being holding your semen. Basically learning to work with tantra and things like that. And for her on her side, just the calendar. I mean, quite there are times that the eggs are just not. It's not going to work. And then you have the old tried and true method of just, pulling out. As I mean, from where I come from, like I don't believe rubbers are crazy to me. So yeah, there's going to be some herbs. There's going to be the copper, and then there's going to be penny rose. I think that's a good herb, and following a calendar. And then for your part, looking into some Montauk Chia and tantric ideas about how to basically not let your semen out of you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that John, but then that's gonna get into, um, I mean, yeah, you can't rely on it. I mean, for sure. But you know, if she's on a healthy diet to begin with, if she's on a healthy diet, not an unhealthy diet, she should have she should have a little more control over her period, anyways. But if she's not a healthy person to begin with, and she's having like 4 days worth of a period, well, there's already a lot of problems there, But if she's pretty much steady and regulated with no salts, and she's not consuming heavy metals, she should only be having a period for 1 day, and it should be coming absolutely almost regularly, like clockwork. So there's obviously a few more things that go into it. What up, Alchem? What up, Electric Towel? Um, you know, and remember, it's a two-person thing here, my dude. You know what I mean? As much as like, yeah, the buck stops with what she's doing, because it's she's the containment vessel. For you, you can really work with it too. You can work with your own system. So hopefully that helps a little bit, man. I wish I knew the names of the herbs off the top of my head, but you can do some quick internet searches and stuff, and then just come back to me, and I'll just kind of reiterate some things and see if let's see. By that time, I'll have, like right now, my brain is still kind of clogged up from this whatever the hell is in it. So I don't actually have access to all of my standard amounts of knowledge. I've been firewalled off some things. Yeah, salt and iron gotta go, man. Salt and iron gotta go. Heavy metals in general, That's all tearing up her diet and her mind. Uh, and you know what she should look into? There's some really healthy um, chicks out there doing like yoni work, cleansing yoni work, steaming of the yoni, and doing like eggs, and there's definitely some good little workshops for chicks to kind of get to know their body a little better, so they can understand their rhythms and their cycles and things. Oh, you like that, electric towel? He's getting busy there. Yo, yeah, Ben, yours too, man. This is crazy. This is literally, I think it's about a dozen people right now that I've talked to. Yeah, and this is a dozen people that I know that really truly do not get sick. And they're from all over in different places. Where you live, Ben? What part of the world? You you look like you live in the Midwest. I don't know why. Peroxide. Yeah, peroxide is good stuff. Georgia. Yeah, that was, you know what? Georgia was that was coming down the chute for me for sure. I would have got to Georgia eventually. Yeah, food grade hydrogen peroxide. Yeah, I've done a few videos on it. It's good stuff. It's another thing that, it's one of those high test fuels. You know what I mean? Food grade hydrogen peroxide. You know, uh, apple cider vinegar. These things are high grade stuff that, like, I think people have to should be a little more wary with. They're intense. Hold on one second, guys. I gotta go turn this AC on. It's getting low. It's starting to get a little. Well, you know what? I'm gonna open this door because I'm gonna have no air tomorrow. Well, I'm gonna have too much air tomorrow. That's the thing. It's gonna be windy tomorrow. If y'all don't see me for a few days, I might be dead. New Orleans about to get some weather, yo. Okay. The sun and skin connection. The sun and skin cancer connection. Yeah. The connection is the sun's doing its job and is trying to heal you. And the skin cancer is actually the sun pulling all of the toxin out of you. The cancer will go away if people would stop putting in to their body the thing that's causing the cancer. The cancer on the skin is coming from mostly the sunscreen, because sunscreen has in it, the number one ingredient is petroleum. You know what petroleum is? Petroleum jelly? It's gasoline. It's gas. So it's drying the skin and causing a lot of different things to happen that are not good for the skin. I mean, the simple answer is look at the people living near the equator. You know how much skin cancer they have? None. Why? Because they don't put crap on their skin or in their body. They're eating a high fruit diet. They're not putting skin cancer causing creams on it. And you could just ask yourself this: how long has life been going on this earth? No matter what, whether we're into evolution or creationism or whatever the fucking theories are, we can at least look at it and go. We just look around and go, man, we've been here for a long time, not using all of these products that we're putting on our skin these days, and only now people are getting skin cancer. It might have a lot more to do with what we're ingesting, and in fact it does. So the sun is here to heal you and fix you, and the skin cancer, people go, oh no. No, it's like getting a zit. You know what happens when you get a zit? That's your body doing you a favor and pushing out the garbage that's inside of you. The sun to skin cancer is, oddly enough, sunshine and light. Oddly, actually, sunbathing. There we go. Texting me with all your. Okay, I might have to move this computer if this connection goes off again. I might have to move a little bit. Let me. Yeah, I guess it's a little better here. We'll see. I don't know. Y'all there still? We back on. We back on here. See, you come on here. You come on here, Francis. You make it. You put too much energy in the room, huh? What's up, Danny? What's the origin of red hair? That's you asking me a real long story there, man. Hurricane is coming. Yeah, B man. Yeah. How's the connection now? Everybody's all right. Zet Chrono. That's a real long story, but we can kind of just get into, iron rich. There's a connection to Mars. Iron, the Vikings. That's a long story though, man. Check out the video I did called the Viking Cow. And while I don't necessarily touch on red hair in there, you can kind of see some connections to the red beards and and the Vikings, and then we get into Irish origins. Then we're talking about different kind of diets, and a lot of it is diet related, but then there's also something else going on from kind of like when I say planetary, what I'm talking about is a portal through the energy systems, which we perceive as planets, which aren't planets at all. They're gateways. They're stars. Stars are energetic pathways that can take you like a portal to where that planet is that you can't see. Like NASA says, oh, look that's that planet. No. That thing that you're looking at, that star or that planet, isn't actually a planet. It's a wandering, moving star, right? It's just an energy. But it is, in essence, a portal to somewhere that will be that planet. So when we talk about like aliens and things, we're talking about like denser, stronger energies from those specific systems. This is why people have a lot of identification to say like Sirius, or they're from different lineages, and that star people, right? And so that's a real long story. I'll touch on that another time for you though, man. So I mean, you can just you can play with that a little bit in your mind. Where are we at here? What up, Cam? What else? Who else here? John Stephen Fernandez. What is the price I pay for having such a high level of knowledge? Probably most of it. If the price, I mean, I don't think of it that way. I think of it as an investment, but it's an investment into what it would be called the Hermetic arts. And when you say Hermes or Hermetic art, it is about thought or thoth. This is why it's called Hermes Trismegistus. Is also called thoth, and thoth is, these words and ideas come back to what a hermetic seal is. It's to seal yourself into yourself. It's to put yourself in, and do studies, do work on yourself, and whatever that is, it's being by yourself. I mean, I've spent quite a bit of time, just to myself. Most people, they have a job that they spend, 8 to 10 hours a day with other people doing things. And those 8 to 10 hours every day for me for, I don't know, almost 20 years has been literally to myself. Studying, researching, meditating. Some of it's, internal. A lot of it's inside of a book. Some of it's inside of myself. But that's if there is a cost or a payment, that's what it was, I see it as an investment. I mean, obviously there's a lot of other things that I get out of this, but yeah. Good question, Stephen. It's changed at many, very many different times in very many different ways. It's changed it. During the process, there are times that when you start to, when you're first injected with that serum, that wake up knowledge. I don't like the word woke, and I don't like the word like, consciousness or whatever. Like, I use it a little bit here and there, but when you kind of go, oh man, the world is a little more weird than I thought. Well, shit's crazy out here. Well, there's you go through these spots and places, and like when you're leveling up, things can be kind of like, whoa, what's going on here? It's like kind of you're on a ship and you're like, oh, you just got from this cool island, all of a sudden you're about to go to this other place, but you're in the middle of the sea. Like, well, where the fuck did those islands go? This shit is crazy out here. And so in that state of that, there's kind of like, relationships to me, it was always like, man, I didn't know how to, communicate well with people. Funny enough, because when you have a larger mind, and see, it's not like an ego thing. It's like when you have more information, let's try that. When you have access to like this way more information, like what do you talk to people about? I want to shoot myself in the face trying to talk about weather with people, right? But at this point now, what do I do if I'm talking to somebody and then somebody wants to talk about weather? Well, then I just take a little bit of I spin that weather conversation into, oh, you ever seen a cloud like that before? Oh, that's weird. How do you think they make that? Oh, I mean, I didn't make that. You think they might make the clouds? What you think? You ever heard of weather modification? Isn't it interesting these days how plants be growing because, you know, you ever heard of acid rain? What's happening there? You ever think those planes in the sky might be doing something with? That's where I am now. But for quite a while, it was more, relationships were more or less difficult, and I would be in, a lot of relationships that people would be like, you know, uh, they would find me to be like the like above them or something, in a sense of knowledge, and they would always feel inferior in a sense because of how much I knew. So I don't know. So in that way, yeah, it was always kind of problematic. If there was a problem. And so like I had to base myself out a lot, like base out, like just go out to a fucking bar and just stupid myself down. Just go and just do like meandering kind of normal shit that was hard. It's like how to just be a normal human. That was always the thing. Yeah. As charming and hilarious as I am, imagine that. I'm an introvert at heart. Well, thank you, Ben. Yeah, that was it of a lot, but yeah, the crazy. Uh, Society pushing you aside is crazy. Yeah, at this point it's not like that anymore. At this point, because I have a way with my my charm and my language that I can kind of adjust things. Where in the past it was more like, why don't you people know this? Why don't you understand what's going on here? uh, Jeremiah, the man with the golden voice, tells me I have a soothing voice. Yeah, Zet Chrono, that's very funny. I just made a video about that recently. Hopefully I'm back here. Yeah, Zet Chrono. Selfishness leads to altruism. Yeah, I've very much been preaching that for quite a while now. I just made a video recently on specifically that, and it's because people always want to they always want to go and help everything else, but if you don't have enough inside of you yourself, what what can you do? I know I make the simple analogy of like, you wanna go help the old lady cross the street and she got a couple bags. Well, if you're like a 80-pound weakling, you're gonna be having a tough time doing that. You want to help somebody with some cash because they're broke or whatever. You ain't got no money. You can't help them. I mean, you can do that from think of it from a physical standpoint or a financial standpoint. I've always looked at it from a mental standpoint. And so I've been very selfish with my knowledge, very selfish. Not that I don't share it, because I obviously do, and because I've overwhelmed myself with the excessive amount of knowledge that I have, to like what else am I do? Why would I have acquired all this knowledge? What am I going to do with it? The knowledge that I've acquired doesn't get me a giant business. I mean, it could. Like I know exactly the way to architect a business and who I'd put in what places and exactly for what reasons, but because that was never my goal per se. Charm is the answer. Yeah, I don't know where. It's funny. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know why. I don't. I don't. Thank you, Danny. Yeah, I don't know where charm is such a weird thing. I think it's like Alan Watts says. This idea of some people having been graced by the gods. How do you become graced? Why did the gods choose me with grace? Why did they choose that person? Why did that person be like that? I can't figure that one out. That's the only part of this whole thing I can't really figure out. But I guess that's the same thing in charm and even humor and grace, whatever that might be. People that are very just the way they fluidly move through things. And thank you, Francois. Yeah, I'll go a little bit of deeper on that business astrology for sure. It's very simple. I mean, everybody makes it complex. You know, everything here, any complexities out there, I can make very simple. Um, you build anything the way you would build. See, it always comes to me back to architecting, and so architecture is not just drawing on a piece of paper. It's a mental thing. And if you are a great architect, you can look at nature and understand how nature works. And so you would build something, a building. You'd build a corporation, which is a corpse, which is a body, and then you fill that dead body with living beings, which animate that corpse. And the human body, if you design a business, you would design it off of the human body. I did a video on this a while back. You should look through them. And you have three levels to your business. You'd have, in a sense, you'd have what's underground, what's above ground, and what's in the air. It's just like a tree. You'd have a root system. You'd have what's above the ground, and then you'd have the fruit of the tree. Now you can coordinate that with the ideas of densities, of the densest matter, the liquid matter, and the air matter, and you can also condense that to, I mean, if you look at the human body, how it's made, you look at the levels. There's three levels to the human body, from the toes to the belly button, from the belly button to the chin, and then from the chin to the top of the head. Three levels. What's on the top level? Your brain. Your brain, and it's where the ideas come from. It's the fruit of your building. It's the fruit of your temple. What do you think is good for your brain? Fruits. They have they have the water like your brain does. It's all coordinated. So now if we use those same philosophies in creating a business with people, you'd put the kind of people in the positions, not only a physical picture. If you get a building that was, say, oh, I don't know, 33 floors high, you got 33 in your, 32 vertebrae, and then your skull, the 33 vertebrae, and you would put people along that, within that building. There would be 11 floors, another 11 floors, another 11 floors, and they would be built in the same way that you would build your body. And you would find people that are very earthy to be in your first 11 floors. And those people would hold jobs, earth-based people, they would hold jobs that are the foundation of your company. Those kind of ideas of building a company based upon the foundational, what people that are earth are and how grounded they are, they're on the ground floor. They're the first thing that people are going to come in contact with. That needs to be your sturdiest thing. And they're going to be they're mentally going to be like that as well. And then your next floor up is going to be well, I guess you'd call it the water element, the fluid areas. And then the highest level would be the thoughts, the airy things. And so the smart people would be the airy people. The Aryans. Where did the Aryans come from? And this gets into blue-eyed, blonde-hair Aryans. They came from the air. And then beneath that, the water, the fluid movement. And the fourth element, the fire. Well, fire isn't an element. Fire is what's in everyone, and it's what would be making that building live. It makes the corporation live. You probably wouldn't want too many people in your corporation that were fire signs. As much as that would be difficult for a fire sign to hear, they shouldn't be within that corporation. But what they could be is, in a lot of ways, they could be, as a lot of corporations have on retainer, they have somebody to instill the fire into the system. They give them little bits of information. They're on retainer to say, hey, this is how we do something. Because if you had somebody on the ground floor that was made of fire, they're going to be pissed that they're stuck in that ground floor job. They need to get the top. They need to burn that's the idea. That's what they would be. You put a Leo on the bottom floor as a janitor, that's going to break your company. So by using these kind of concepts, you can really learn how to, that's the way it's done now. That's not the highest level of building. The highest level of building a corporation would never be upwards. It'd be built in a spiral. That's a whole nother larger lesson. And that's the kind of shit really that, like, I should charge for and just go walk into businesses and recreate them. So I put that out there. I'm glad, anybody want to know, I'll help you I'll help you put a business together and tell you exactly who needs to go where. But a lot of the reasons businesses fall apart now is literally the buildings themselves are shaped wrong, and they have the wrong people in the wrong places. The structure of the whole thing, from the physical and the mental and the who's running the show, is on the wrong floor in the wrong place. And here, I'll give you one more idea. The person running the business shouldn't be on the top floor. People think that the brain runs the business. If you think your brain runs the operation of your body, you don't know what's going on. The person running the show should be where the belly button is. It'd be in your bowels. It would be in your stomach. Your stomach is the biggest brain, but most people are full of shit. And most people have shit in their system. So they don't have any gut instincts. They don't know how anything works. So you'd want it in the belly button. That's the portal into your being. And so you'd place them in the middle of the building. And that would do so many things for everything. Then people would have different idea. No, people wouldn't feel like they're stood over by their boss. And the boss would be closer to the people on the ground floor. And the boss would be, in the middle of the whole thing. Wouldn't that make more sense? And then we would collapse that even again and say, well, the building shouldn't be 33 floors high. It should actually be in a much different shape. And, there's a lot more going on there. But, yeah, I can definitely map that whole thing out in a matter of, like, a few minutes. That's a master class, and I'll be charging about $25,000 an hour for that one. I mean, that's what it's worth, at least. But, yeah. All right, Ben. I'm a little behind, but... Electric Towel, I don't know what changling means. I never seen the movie, and I never looked it up, but... Oh, really, Cam? Okay, well, you want shit? I'm happy to help you rewrite something. If you gotta do something that is to get your master's, like I could walk you through this whole thing, and like really, you would walk out of school with a doctorate. I hand out doctorate degrees, and it's already done to a degree by using the framework is just a little different now. They use Myers-Briggs tests, which are coordinated with air, fire, earth, and water. It's coordinated with astrology, but just slightly different to disguise it. I mean, obviously the people already know how it works. That's how corporations have been built. The heart and lungs. No, see, hey, let me just jump in here and give you all one more lesson right on that. No, the heart doesn't run the show. The heart in your body and nowhere does everybody says the heart beats because the lungs make it. The heart has anything that's happening because there's pressure built up in the system between what's going on in the stomach and what's going on in the lungs. The stomach and the lungs make the heart beat. The heart doesn't run the system. So that's just a little, yeah. Tycoon demolished their house. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and via Dan Winter's work. You could watch Dan Winter's work. What was it made of? What was the house made of? F55, I asked that. What kind of materials? Yeah, Danny. Well, you know what? It's funny. It's funny you say that, Cam, because Ohio State should be paying me. Because if you're in there and you come out of Ohio State with the the labeled Ohio State with the and you telling them something about mastering astrotheology and connecting it to business world and creating a like even people within that school don't know that. They don't know that, or else they wouldn't be at a school teaching. They'd be running a fucking Fortune 500 company. That you come out there and know how to do it immediately. You probably failed your finance tests because finances are bullshit. Finances ain't got nothing to do with anything. uh, you could if you want to, Zenith, for sure. I'll take a look at it. It's funny because I have somebody that knows much more about the Myers-Briggs than I do, who actually is like super HR professional for the world. So yeah, send it to me. I'll have her look at it first, and then I'll put my spin on it, what I know about it from a different level. But yeah. Oh, it was a mudslide. Okay, I thought it was just like it was getting eaten up by a cyclone because metallic it will happen to metal objects because the metal is in pain if it's made out of aluminum. If there's aluminum siding on something, the cyclones will go after that first because the the building itself is causing a it's cutting open the auric field of the earth, and so it actually is literally the planet sending wind to knock something down that is actually causing harm to the planet. This is why aluminum siding buildings, this is why trailer parks will get hit almost all the time. Cam, you funny. John Steven Fernandez. Anything I wish I could unlearn? Man, oh man, that's a really another big question. I don't know. There's been times I'm like, damn, I wish I didn't know that shit. But then I find the next day that like it's a foundation for something else. Um, it's like it's kind of like you could ask the question like, you know, people like, oh, I wish I didn't find my wife cheating on me. Like, no, actually, you'll know afterwards. Like that's better. Now you know. Now you can get something better. That kind of idea. And it's like you find out like some weird shit going on in the world. Like there was quite a bit of time. This is actually part of your earlier question when I say I didn't even know how to be in public. You know, like how like I just wanted to scream, fucking scream and freak out in public all the time. Uh, just because I'm an insane person, but for that same reason, like you learn some information, it's like fuck, but then the next level is like, oh wait, there's more to it. There's more to this. So everything kind of been more of a foundation of knowledge to like, oh okay, I get it now. And so no, I don't know that I'd ever want to unlearn anything because essentially that if I speak on Dan Winter's philosophy as I usually do, the whole idea here, the only reason we're on Earth is to learn how to bring our memory through death, and that's all about learning and whatever it might be, whatever dream, whatever wisdom you can pick up, you remember it so you have it as a base pillar, as a Joachim and Boaz, as a JB's to hold up the temple. So, it's your foundation. Your foundation should be shit. Where do you think seeds grow from? Or mushrooms? Shit. Damn, Zenith, you like that and you throwing me cash like you did? Damn, you too nice. But yeah, you can call me anytime you want, of course. Feel free. Didn't I already give you my email? Did I talk to you on email already? I don't know if I did. Yeah, hit me on there and I'll give you my 10 numbers. Can I handle it? I guess I'll never know that until I know that, huh? I don't know. I deal with personal shit every day from everybody. I don't. Yeah, sure, of course, dude. Oh, okay, Zenith. It's Zen Alchemistry, Zen Alchemistry, Gmail. Alchemistry. Oh yeah, yeah, love for sure. Sure, sure. So funny you said mango trees. I appreciate that, man. There was a time back, a friend of mine. Uh, she got this cute little daughter. She's like 4 years old at the time, 5 years old, and I was teaching her how to eat a mango. She was so silly with it, and then finally got done eating it, and she's like, "What do you do with this big ass seed?" I was like, "Well, we go plant it." So we just like somewhere in this, like in the middle like of a baseball field or something. Well, it wasn't in the middle of the baseball field, but it was somewhere where like maybe it will grow. And so we planted a mango seed years ago. It's pretty funny. Summer intern. Maybe. Yeah. I'll chat it up. I don't know. Like right now, it's like well, yeah. I'll see what she's doing this summer. Yeah. Aldrin, how do you learn better and faster and have better recall? There's a lot of ways to do that. First thing you could do is I was talking to somebody yesterday, a bunch of people yesterday about this, or the day before maybe. I don't know. Use your opposite hand to start writing, and write in reverse. That's going to unlock a lot of things in your brain. But then there's practical things. I have a couple videos up on it. Look into my earlier videos. One is called um, hmm trying to think of the name of it off the top of my head. I don't have too good of memory recall of it right now. It might just look up memory. Look up my name with memory, and I think there was 3 videos around the same time, probably around December. I think around December you'll find them. Maybe November. Um, but memory, beyond the practices, one of the things you can do is really like cleanse your brain. The whole capacity for you to make any connections and have memory of things is having your brain functioning right, and that's not just doing practices. You can do all the practices you want, but if your brain is gunky and gooey, those neurons aren't going to fire right. Another thing you can do, you, I would say this is the word compressing, compressing different types of um, hold on 1 second. Compressing different types of stimuli. What do I mean by this? Interacting and using. It's what I talked about synesthesia. Look into that video too. Synesthesia. It will give you some clues. You want to be able to like smell something, hear something. You start to use different aspects. People think of learning in one way. They read something and they learn it. That's not the only way you learn. In fact, the most fundamental way you learn is through image. But we've screwed that up and we've turned it into something. We've turned learning into a process, and learning was never supposed to be a process. It was supposed to be an engagement within an activity to stimulate your brain, which processes only 2 things, which is image and then some sort of value of that image. Like that's a chair and it's a soft chair. This is really all you're dealing with in the real world. You're dealing with the image. That's it. Once we started to get into words, we started chopping things up. You don't think in words. You can't think in words. I say chair, you're not looking at the letter CHAIR, you're seeing the chair. So that's the value of it. So getting into that kind of concept of how to alter your brain and to be able to use your ability of memory, which is, look at the word memory again. I say this in just about every video. Memory means water and light. So obviously different color light stimulation in your eyes will help. And one of the biggest things that will help is find things you can smell. Essential oils. You can use essential oils to be basically triggers for boatloads of memory. If you were to read a book and while reading that book you took one essential oil, that essential oil is a frequency. And if you were to smell that while reading the book, and then you were to put the book down and come back, a year later, and somebody were to offer you that same exact smell, it would have that frequency, that entire book would flood back into your memory. That smell is the key to that memory. Now, in the same way, you could use a specific tone. You could use a tone running through your brain, a high-pitched tone. This even gets into some other things about spirituality and things, but you could use a tone, but that's not as effective because we're bombarded with different tones all day. So it's kind of a little more difficult. But the smell is very high technology because there's no barriers between your nose and your brain. So you're getting a specific frequency and harmonic that actually contains as basically a tube of information that will connect your brain to something. So hopefully that helps a little bit. I know I was kind of jumping all over the place, but I was trying to just touch on a few specific topics that I covered in those earlier videos. So if you can't find those, hit me up and I'll try to find them for you. Yeah, locais, Zet Chrono. Yeah, this gets into loci. Yeah, loci, location. And there's many ways of doing that too. Using numbers, using your house. That's a simple way. That's a method. I'm trying to get underneath a method, but that method definitely that helps. You can start with, if you know specifically the numbers 1 through 10, then you can use the numbers 1 through 10 as locators. You turn the number 1 into an arrow. You turn the number 2 into a swan. The number 3, you can turn into a visual image, and those are stapled as a visual image, and then you make that image connect with something. Yeah, you have something to remember. You can do it that way. And then there's a really deeper way of doing it that is way too much to get into here, but it's basically the ancient code of alphanumerics and tying numbers and letters together with locator points, and you basically unlock your whole brain. Yeah, it's super high test stuff. Ah, Zenith, you got juiced by the moon. Very funny. The other day, you were all on here when I was doing the moon readings, and I kept catching the moon. Then I got the world flipped upside down. And in the past few days, my world has completely flipped in the opposite direction. And I actually said before that I would flip everything over. And since that time, usually the moon would be draining on me. I've literally only had an influx of energy in every way, financial and otherwise. So I was like, nope, we ain't on the same system no more. We changing something. And so I just changed the system. Extracting energy from the moon rather than letting it do it to me, And that actually goes in the beginning of this video where a couple people were asking about something, and I was kind of going off on, how to actually create an environment, how to create a future, and how it's not as easy as just thinking good thoughts. There's a lot more that goes into it. Oh yeah, love Katesh. I'm back up at 11:58. Yeah, some people are very kinesiologically driven in the way to learn, and they can use movement patterns to help unlock parts of the brain, definitely. And this is why I suggest to people to You get into the term infinity walk. This is especially for kids that have like autism, and it can be helpful for old people too. Infinity walk, and to walk through a labyrinth. And you can do that labyrinth. It's something as simple as just closing your eyes, and that can turn into a labyrinth for people. Or like physically just going and finding a place that you haven't been, just walking around the woods, or going to a labyrinth if you have one in your town. A labyrinth really simply is just doing like a walk through your city if you've never have and without a map and you don't know where you are. Or just that's a good idea too. Ricardo, that's awesome, man. Black walnut's the joint. That's heavy duty stuff. Black walnut is real good. It's real good for cleaning up bugs. Yes, I've read the book Man's Higher Consciousness by that's Hilton Hotima, right? Or is that yeah, that's Hilton Hotima, right? John Stephen. And what are my thoughts on people living to 200 years? Yeah, of course they do. That's obvious. Yeah, certainly. There's too many people that I know that have lived amongst those tribes that speak on it and say that that's absolutely true. And it's people that I respect that I don't have no reason to lie on this stuff, and from my own research for sure. And how long would I want to live? Well, I'm immortal, so that's, you know. But you're asking like here on this plane of existence on this earth. Well, that's you know, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's a lot to do with how, you know, how this system is getting upgraded, what things look like on this planet, what assistance, you know, how it all. But yeah, I mean, all in all, you're supposed to be able to live as long as an oak. Why wouldn't you be able to? If you take care of your cellular structure, the whole thing can be your whole body replaces itself anyways. Why wouldn't it replace it back in the best form possible if you get the highest level of nutrition? Cam, you said I'd be happy to know for a consumer behavior class, I have to write a 20-page paper. Uh, I'm writing on how markets can leverage consumer. Yeah, that's great, man. Oh, the olfactory sense. Yeah, that's heavy duty stuff. It's the highest level of the highest level. The brain is the highest level of way to market things. And give you lots of yeah, man. You want to know anything more about that? I can definitely give you a lot more input on why it's such and what it, you know, everything about it. Sure, man. I mean, anything you want to know, Cam, just if you want to dig deep into aromacology. Sure, man, that's totally rad. We go all the way back to the Swinwits of ancient Egypt, and even how color and aroma are melded together. Yeah, Zenith. That's funny. Master Earth. Yeah, he was saying that. My dude Don Tolman talks about that all the time. He's lived in a bunch of blue zone cultures. He's lived all across the world. Instance, you probably will. Zetachrona, you'd make a seed that people would eat and live forever. Yeah, there's a couple of those seeds. It's called it's called Amrita. Amrita. That's the drink. I'll be right back, yo. I'm gonna go grab a drink of some seeds of Amrita. Sorry for the lighting, guys, but no, not sorry for lighting. I wish I could have put the lighting in a different way, but my stand for my phone busted yesterday. So now I'm using my other computer, and I can't really get it to sit up the right way to film from the other side, so you don't get to see my ugly mug right now. We gotta switch it up a little bit. I got some ginger beer. What y'all know about ginger beer? What we had here? Nope. Can you even see that? No, I think is this. Yeah, there it is. Well, you probably can't see it. I don't know if it's just my screen or yours, but if y'all know about extra gingery Reed's ginger beer. Oh man, we gotta mix that up with some of the finest. Some Herb Saint. If you ever heard of Herb Saint, that shit is some dank stuff. To the spirits or something, huh? Well, thank you, Zenith. AT, what's going on? Well, thank you, dude. Or whatever you are. Is that an elephant or whatever your picture is? I can't really tell. My screen is small, but thanks, man. I appreciate it. Really. A kilo of ginger. You just chew on it? Ginger's hot, man. You know what I did one day? I juiced like, I don't know, 3 pounds of ginger, and I put it into a jar, and then I made, next to it I had made like a lemonade or something. In the middle of the night, you can all see where this is going already. In the middle of the night, I got up. I was super thirsty. I thought I picked up the lemonade jar. No, I picked up straight ginger, juiced ginger. Yo, I could have died. It was hotter than. A lot of people don't even know how hot ginger is. Ginger is hotter than like, yeah, that was intense. And in the middle of the night, out of nowhere. That was funny. Kombucha and gin. I got ginger beer and Herb Saint. It's nice. Oh yeah, ginger is great. I love ginger. But the ginger challenge. You ever done that? What it did? Somebody's done that before. It's insane. It's insane. It's I can handle a little bit of heat. I can handle some hot things. Cayenne eyeballs. Nah, it's hotter than that, dude. It really is. Ginger tea and alcohol. It was probably getting something out you. Straight ginger was no good. She tries. She can drink. Love to test. She can drink it like straight. That's balls. That's crazy. That's like. If has anybody seen the Indian lady that did a? She was like on a Food Network challenge. Or it was eating ghost peppers. Well, it was insane because she ate, I think, something like 20 of them in under a minute. Not that one ghost pepper, if anybody doesn't understand, a ghost pepper is probably, at this point, it's the third hottest pepper on the planet. There's a couple Scorpion, Trinidad. It's like 1.2 million Scoville heat units, which basically means burn a hole in something kind of hot. Well, she ate, like I said, like 20 of them maybe in the course of a minute, and then proceeded to take a bunch and rub them in her eyeballs. She rubbed them in her eyes. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. The Indians are, yeah, they can handle their spice. Carrot ginger is nice. Indians, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, my girl Army though, she can't deal with. It's funny. Um, Mexican versus Indian hot is different, right? because there's a couple different elements they use in there. So like Ami, even though she's Indian, she can't handle Indian hot food, but she can handle Mexican spicy, and I can't handle Mexican spicy at all. But Indian hot, I can take about like whenever we go to an Indian restaurant, we say Indian hot because she's Indian, and so they're like, oh, you can handle the Indian hot. He's not just stupid white boy, and they give me Indian hot, and that I can handle. I mean, it's hot, but in a Mexican restaurant, no, no. Yep. Uh, Jeremiah, have you tried? You're talking about a ghost pepper? You've eaten a ghost pepper before? Anybody else in here eating a ghost pepper, or anybody knows about hot peppers? What's the hottest pepper? The cayenne that I'm working with, is I have like a 50 and a 100K, so like basically dried. I don't know, enough hotter than the Thai chili. Yeah, California Reaper. Yeah, that's up there. That's above the Ghost, I think, at this point. There's a Trinidad Scorpion, the California Reaper, and yeah, that's some hot. Hot is hot, man. But are you wait? Hold on. Are you saying that's because I asked? I asked the question. Butte, you've done a California Reaper? You've eaten one? Say word. Your 8-year-old eats the ghost peppers? What up, Spencer? Good to see you, dude. Danny, you're telling me she ate a ghost pepper? Say word. No way. Lying. No way. What up, Natasha? Good to see you. What? The ghost pepper? Yeah. Oh, my buddy tried. He was foolish one day. He said he could handle hot sauce. He said he could handle hot stuff. So I was like, all right. So I bought a bag of ghost chilies. Yeah, he didn't have a very good time. Let's just say that. I said he was a little drunk and he was like, no, I can handle one. I was like, yeah, this is a bad idea. He's like, no, I can handle one. I was like, yeah, okay. And 10 minutes later, I'm like pouring yogurt on him while he's like dry heaving in the toilet, just eyeballs falling out of his head. Basically, like I was like, man, I told you, it's not a good idea. Little small yellow ones, those are not the Thai ones. Oh, see, look at that, flipped it around. You can see my shadow. Here I am. Barely. Yeah, sorry, just lighting ain't working in here, so I guess you can kind of just, you can make out a glimpse of me. Oh, maybe I can do this. Maybe this will do something funny. Let me see. Maybe. Will this give you? No. Yep, maybe. Anybody? No. You can see my ghost. You can see my shadow self. There you go. That's kind of cool. Oh, you guys gonna have some bubbles. The bubbles. There we go. Bubbles it is. Yeah, Zach Chrono, I don't believe that for not 1 second. That shit was not real. That dude was face painted. He was like from the Blue Man Group. He was like that was fake as fuck. Not that I don't think people can get a blue hint to them. I think that was fake as fuck though. Oh, so Danny, for real, that's crazy, man. But I mean, if he can handle it, he's different. I mean that blood type. Yeah. Yeah, for real, me too, Zenith. I think you're right about scaring people away from the colloidal. Although I haven't used it too much, but again, anything that there's been some, there's something good to it, but then once it becomes a big thing, then you're going to deal with 80% of the places that's coming from being garbage. Yeah. If you can find a good source for any of this stuff, especially like colloidal silver or like any of the monoatomics or whatever. Like, yeah, right in the beginning, they're great, and then all of a sudden, people get wind of it, and all of a sudden, you get like shit products, and it's really hard to find good sources and like authentic. People aren't just out there trying to make the quick buck, you know? All right, Cam. Well, let me know, Cam. I'm definitely willing to help you out on that paper, man. Whatever aspect of that shit you want to talk about, whether it's the aromacology or the building a business, whatever, man. Just let me know. Shit is shit's already done in my head. Yeah, that's why you just gotta try to start to find the people that can get the straight from the roots. And so anybody that doesn't know, Mountain Rose Herbs is what's up. Mountain Rose Herbs. That's the place. They'll have everything you need. Best place to buy it. But of course, Cam, and thanks for that cash, my friend. Isn't it interesting like about all the creatures, like humans are the ones to play with the hot stuff. We're the fire carriers, and we're the only ones to consume the hot peppers. All the rest of it, you put hot peppers around the rest of your plants, the animals will stay away. And it's even funny that it would like why would nature make those things? What are they used for? That's that chi right there. But it is very funny. My dog likes hot stuff. But my dog isn't exactly human though. She's not exactly dog either. So I gotta go back up to this. Who said, hey Butte, so if you still around, did you really eat a California Reaper? Unless I didn't see it. Yeah, oh, you did. I overlooked it. Yeah, just the sauce though. But like when you're saying just the sauce, it was like a baste in that, or it was like, was it a little bit, or just like on a chicken wing, or what? Ooh, 100% tax? Yuck. Taxing the mess out of it. Wow. I mean, powerful for what, Zenith? As you ask at 12:22, the 222s. I mean, you obviously already know what my answer would be. I mean, you have different types of power places. It just depends on what you want and what the idea of. What up, Logan? How do you mix your kratom and how much do you take typically? Depends on what I'm doing. Um, and I've heard it's best to use like a grapefruit. Um, Grapefruit tends to see it because I'm not very familiar with the plant. I should probably do a little more research on it. But you got some things that are better fat soluble. Some are better, alcohol driven. Some are better with like an acid, like a lemon or a lime or a grapefruit. And so I've heard that grapefruit tends to release the components in kratom a little better. So grapefruit tea, and but then again you can't let it get too hot because you'll burn a lot of things. So you got to have like either a cold tea or a lukewarm tea. So it seems like the best way is like a lukewarm tea, ginger, maybe like a ginger or like a grapefruit. That would be helpful. Like a teaspoon maybe. But see that again, that's a really delicate one to play with because you got to kind of see how your body reacts to it. First time I did, it was I didn't like it because I took too much. The second time, oh, it was excellent. And then like Kava Kava did the same thing. Kava Kava gave me a headache Kava Kava made me feel real bad the first time. I mix that up with like see, that's fat soluble. That's a little different. So, yeah, a teaspoon was more than enough for me, man. Zet Chrono getting wild with it. Yeah, that would be crazy. Get on, go. That shit would be funny. I would do that. I mean, I wouldn't do any. I don't like Sid, man, but I would. I would just off of you catch a little contact. Zenith for magic and creating projections. I mean, there's only one city on the planet. There's only one place that exists for that. Obviously, it's New Orleans, but outside of New Orleans, there's other places that have, you got to think about like grounding factors. It depends about your energy too, what you're like. Um, because then you got like normal portal spots, kind of like all of the, the hippy dippy vibe people that are on the, you know, being like, think about it this way, like being near a mountain for male energy versus being near a wide open space versus being near trees. Like all of these things should go into kind of what kind of magic you're trying to produce, and how good you are at dealing with other people's energetic systems. So, there's pushing and there's pulling of energies everywhere. What is the vibe like in New Orleans? It's the greatest place on earth as far as I'm concerned. I mean, and I don't. I lived in a lot of places in the U.S. A lot of cities like East Coast, and I travel a little bit for sure. And I don't know, man. There's just it's not even really part of the U.S. It's completely different. It's like a lot of people here say it's the northernmost Caribbean place, and it's steeped in voodoo, steeped in hoodoo magic. People are, and the best part is people are always on vacation, so you get the best of people because the people that are here are enjoying themselves because they're in New Orleans. The weather is awesome. And the people that are on vacation, well, they're on vacation and they're in New Orleans on vacation. And then you have musicians everywhere, music every night. You have just it's comfortable. You can drink in the streets, which already takes 1,000. It just cuts the edge off everything. You can walk down the street carrying a beer, and that's part of the culture. Everything, people go to work like 10 o'clock and come home at 4. I mean, it's just a whole different thing. And if you look at it from an energetic standpoint, where ley lines and things cross, it's called the soul of the earth. A lot of other places will claim that, but there's some people that have written some pretty interesting papers on the mathematics of it and even how the city's laid out and things. That it's pretty interesting. Yeah, come through, Zenith. It's a crazy, crazy place. Crystal vortexes, yeah. Logan Landthrop, you asking me? I never been to Arkansas. I will not call it Arkansas. MK, I didn't understand the magical energy and suck. Oh, and such. Yeah. Okay. I've been to a couple vortexes. I was to a vortex in I believe it was North Carolina, and another one in the middle of the country. I forget what state, and that was really cool. Natasha, you going to Vegas tomorrow and stay in the Orleans hotel? Of course. Oh, wicked. That's awesome. That's super cool. The connections. Vegas. Yes. A vacation to Las Vegas ain't a vacation. Going to Vegas is something else. I've been to Vegas before. That's a different place, man. Yeah. People are going to Vegas either to make money or lose money. Zenith, you you're an earth sign and you feel like the oceans and trees energize. Um, well, I mean, we're on the river, you know, the river is flowing right here. The Mississippi is right here, so you got that movement going right into the ocean there. And there's so many different kinds of trees here. It's amazing to like literally. I'm look outside right now and I see a palm tree to my right, and across the street or like a block away there's like a 200-year-old oak. It's pretty fun. But being an Earth sign, yeah, I don't hmm, I think the best connects to New Orleans are probably watery and air signs, but you know, if you ground it out and those things help you, yeah. Yeah, Zach Chrono, this is the greatest place in America. America, I'd say. I mean, as far as even place I've been, man, it's it's something completely else. It's not like any place in the South, and it definitely ain't like the North. Real people, lot of fun going on here. People are happy to be on vacation, so you get to meet people's real being, you know. The Northern Ontario, strong and ancient. You should talk to you should talk to now I say I'm gonna call him Francis, and he don't want to be Francis no more. He want to be what's he called? What's his name now? He's from Canada. Why the hell can't I remember his name? Look at that. I liked Francis better. Now he's where how'd he go? I'm just scrolling through here. Oh, Jeremiah. You can ask Jeremiah about. He's your Canadian brethren, MK. He's a forest dweller. And actually, MK, you know that I don't know if you were on the other day. My chick, what's her name? Sabrina. I call her the Oracle. Sabrina the Oracle. The shamanista. You should check her out. She's from Canada. No, I mean, not that everybody in Canada is any, but you're kind of all neighbors, kind of, you know. Canadian is its own place. Canadian is its own people, you know. It's not like Americans are all the same, but Canadians have got their own little Canadian vibe. Yeah, Canucks. Yeah, nice of you to stop by, Natasha, into this crazy. Thanks for getting mixed up in this crazy hologram with us. Yeah, where are you from, Natasha? I know we probably already did this, but the other night y'all had me doing spirit talk, so I was imbibing I was imbibing some grandpa, some Papa Legba. Yeah. Zach Chrono, you know, I always liked the idea of the Japanese culture and the women, and you know, I kind of wanted to be all up in having my 10 or 12 little dream Japanese Asian women, but then I figured, nah, they all gonna look the same. So yeah, New Orleans is a great place. The Atlantis connection, Logan. I've heard very much the connection to Atlantis is in um, Sarasota, Florida, at the White Crystal Beaches that actually don't get hot. Yeah. Lay down on the Portal Rock. The Canadian strip clubs are a little different, huh? Hey Jeremiah, what you know about them Canadian strip clubs? It's pretty much, you get the whole 9 yards, huh? It's all allowed there, right? Oh, you jacking it in San Diego, Natasha? That's the South Park episode, jacking it in San Diego. Yeah, Spencer. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to kick it with Natasha. She's cute, I think. I can never tell with these pictures though. They're so small, and I don't know. I think I probably vibe with Natasha. She's cool. Yeah, Jeremiah, ask the old Jew. Used to be, man. That's funny. I was never into strip clubs, man. I've been to like only a handful, and it was never my spot. You know, I never figured it out. I never digged it. It's just always little. But Canadian ones though. Oh, you only went when drag there? Come on. You say is there supposed to be like a smiley face after that or something? San Diego. Natasha, my new girlfriend from San Diego. But Natasha is not. Hey, Spencer, Natasha's not a girl. She is a goddess. She is a queen. The goddess Natasha. Mama brought you up too good? Like Mama Earth or your actual mama? Temagami. That's a fun word though. So you outdoorsy, huh? Yes, love Katesh. Yeah, San Diego is one of my places. San Diego, Colorado, New Orleans, or and it just New Orleans was just too much of a draw. Everything pulled my energy to New Orleans. Everything about it, including its area code and everything. Yeah. Oh, 504. 504. Yep. Which is 9, which is completion, which is my life path number, according to the according to the numbers of the fucked up calendar. But nonetheless, I think there's a little interesting. That's a little interesting tidbit. I don't get too deep into the numerical way of looking at things. I use it more as a second or third level redundifier. That if I say if this works etymologically, and if this works through symbology, then it also works through like if then it also works through numbers. Then it's like, oh, okay. That's when I use numbers. I try not to start with them. I'm gonna have to turn some music on here. It's quiet over here. Hurry up and get this get this video. Hold on, yo. Hurry up and get this copyright claim on this, huh? Oh hell, let's see here. Hey, Jeremiah. Am I ADHD? No, no, I am. Like right now, maybe a little bit because I drank some beers earlier and I took some kratom, so my brain isn't and my head hurts. So, but no, no, I'm much more focused and not very spastic of the mind at all. I only play it out and act that way sometimes because it's hilarious to me. All right, Electric Towel. Yeah, yeah. Where can I find your music? What can I find it on? What's the easiest way to get to what's going on with you right now? Oh, SoundCloud. Okay. And that's your Jeremiah. All right. That's funny you asked me if I was ADHD. Now, you know what though? I would be ODD though. Now that I know what ODD means, I didn't realize that before. But yeah, OD for sure. And I think everybody should be odd. You should have a healthy sense of you should have a healthy sense of odd in your life. Yeah. Uh, MK, I'm scrolling back up to you. And Daft Punk, yo, I dig Daft Punk for sure. I listened to something really funky by them the other day. I just forget the name of it. It was something I was like, oh, Daft Punk did this. Um, Fish, Grateful Dead, all that. Yeah, I get down with it. I mean, it has its time and place. You know what I mean? Like I ain't in like deep into it, but I appreciate it. Oh man, that's beautiful. Jeremiah, new album, excellent, dude. Logan, nothing is ever off topic. If I don't got a topic I'm starting the show with and we just rambling on, that's my always my hope whenever I do these things that people ask me stupid, weird, strange, off the wall questions. Uh, but crystals in the matrix, true intent of them as opposed to the malevolent purposes. Um, Let me try to give that as quick of an answer as I can. They were never supposed to be harvested from the earth at all. I'll side with the thoughts and ideas of Nature Boy there. Um, but where I'll disagree with them is he said they shouldn't be used now. No, they're already up. They're already above ground. You can't replant them. You can't reseed them. So they're already up, and so they're already in things. So what we need to do is just use them to. We need to repurpose them and use them as transmitters, not just receivers. And see, a lot of people use these things and they can feel the vibe, they can feel the energy, they working with them. But if you really understand what they can be used for, um, just like within a computer system, just like within your watch, they're connected using that. They're broadcasting information. And if you could broadcast it into the earth, to the system of the crystals that are already inside of the earth, you can literally then connect to the computers. You could override computers with a crystal on you that you connected to the earth with, because then it would resonate at that frequency with the entire crystal grid beneath the earth, which then would control the computers. And on top of that, my other theory and idea is that the sun is a crystal itself and the moon is a diamond. And you would connect between the moon, or excuse me, you'd connect between the sun, the earth crystals, and the crystals that you have yourself, and on top of it, your piezoelectric crystal yourself, thus the ideas of the crystal skull. And you'd be able to resonate frequencies off of that, and you'd use the crystals themselves as specific resonant frequency, as resonators for specific frequencies to get inside of whatever frequency that stone holds. And then taking that a step further, because the moon, if it is a diamond, it holds its own, it holds a certain frequency, and the moon, and the sun, because crystals are living and they're always in flux of the harmonics and what's going on with them, you can't really locate the frequency specifically because they're alive and slightly moving. Where a diamond holds a stagnant frequency, and so you can lock in onto what the moon's frequency is, where you cannot lock into what the sun's frequency is. You can lock into a specific frequency within a computer. It's been stagnated, so there's something really interesting there that you can use it as a higher purpose, and use your consciousness to do it. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Arkansas and Atlantis, that's interesting. I think might be an interesting connection there. Stored the master. Yeah, that's really interesting that you say that. Wow, no shit, Natasha. That's radical. I just read that. You, man, that's so cool, dude. I'm glad. I hope it's done wonders for you. Yeah, Jeremiah, I'll go into that a little bit more. The soul is always spiraling, sending out ever new song. Thanks to the vibes. Gotta get some Z's, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, man, enjoy, man. It's good to see you. We'll chat soon. Holler at me on the thing, on the telly. Uh, um, but what he was just saying there, spiraling and having new energies, it's why it's the unspeakable name. It's unfathomable. Because you're just like the sun. You're a resonator for it. That you're always changing frequency, just like the sun, where the moon does not. It's stagnant. Natasha, you were in a pink harness until you was 5. You was a little hyper kid. ADHD. You hear me, Katesh, about odd? Odd disorder? Yeah, MK, that's interesting. That there is a certain kind of quality of for people that are in a decent state of health, that the moon can stagnate. But what happens for most people, because of the things they've ingested, the moon actually causes the opposite. It causes the chaos. It causes the lunacy. Because the people's bodies are already so far out of frequency. They're modulating so much because of all of the different kinds of chemicals they've eaten. They're all over the map, and the moon only multiplies that. So if you're in decent shape, the moon can definitely relax something. Yeah. Yeah, fluoride is a big one for it, though, for sure. Take a fluoride. Fluoride is going to do a lot to screw up the brain. Yeah, odd. Uh-huh. All right, Danny. Good to see you, yo. The number one cause of ADHD is doctors. The number one cause of ADHD is doctors needing to prescribe medicine to fight ADHD. uh, yeah, it's called that was I was trying to get to. I was trying to make it more simple. My brain didn't get to diagnostics. Is that Chrono? Why do you guess no Asians watch my videos? Danny's Asian. Algin, you are nice. Yeah, I got a couple Indians there. I mean, Indians are Asian, but they're technically Asian, but they're not really. You know what I mean? But why you think they don't? But I don't. There's not many that has ever popped up and said like, "Hey, I'm Asian and I watch your videos." MK Frater sent you here. When did he do that? That's so awesome. Frater's a radical dude. I definitely like Frater. That's really cool. And I still gotta know Zach Chrono about this. There's no Asians watching my vids. It is funny the general sense of what I'm getting of the people that watch my video tend to be kind of what I thought it would be, but it's funny. I have yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, but we gonna cut into all the races if I got to. That's so funny though. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They would have. That's funny. You noticed that, or maybe just anybody already gets my sense of humor, knows Um, but yeah, the who watches my videos. It seems like really uh, more melanated people and more women for the most part. Not not too many. I think it's melanated individuals, women, and then like college kids that are like just figuring out that college is a little different than they thought. That seems to be the. That's awesome. It was that old video? Cause I haven't talked to him too much recently. I haven't seen him too much. Oh man, you put some crystals in the. Okay, that's a good idea. I haven't ever done that. Zach Chrono. he gonna play with me like yeah, that's so funny. Did you change your oh you changed your name again? Before it was okay, you so funny. You went at first it was Chrono what? Chrono something X? What did you flip through? You want this is the third installment of Chrono. It was Chrono Lager, right? Yeah, yeah, that's so funny. It was Chrono Lager first, right? I like Zet low. I like Zet Chrono though. I wish you had told me that earlier. I would have talked to you. I was slightly different. I was like, oh, who's this new Zet Chrono person? Yeah, he's a super smart guy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Zet Chrono. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I guess it took me longer than it should have. I should have got it with the Chrono X, but I did not. Did not. Girls in Cali will burn me at the burn the stake for that remark. Some girl I used to mess with called me. Some girl I used to mess. Oh, you're saying some girl I used to mess with. That exactly that term. That I used to mess with. I hear what you're saying. What up, Danny Venison? Uh, that's funny. Yeah, but for me, it just depends on the room and the people. But then, like in this, I don't, because to me this is just a one-way blank screen. Like for me, I don't know any of you, so I like the picture of Daniel Benson, your picture. The only person in the room that I know looks like their picture is actually Katesh. So beyond Katesh, anybody in here could be anybody. I don't know y'all. So I'm just talking to a blank screen, so it's funny to me. Take from it what you might. But yeah, some girl I used to mess with. Yeah. But you know what's funny about that, Natasha, is literally, it was a girl, and I really did. It was just we were just messing around. It wasn't even. Yeah, she got she got all lost in it. Love Katesh. I like the question. No, I actually see my blood ain't that perfect yet, but I think the mosquitoes are looking for dirty blood. I think they're looking for sweet, dirty, salty, nasty, uh, fat, fatty blood. Because I don't get mosquitoes too often, but they don't bite me too often. But you know what? It's funny where they do. They bite me in my ankles, where actually most of my dirty blood gets stored up, which is interesting. Yeah, I would do a hangout with Frater. Yeah, like he's somebody that I could definitely do like a chat with. It would make sense. A lot of people want me to do chats with different kinds of people, and I'm just like, I don't know how it would work. Like, getting on a show with certain people that need the stage as much as I do. And I only need it because whenever I explain something, I want to make sure that I really, tell the story and make it sound right. Like I use the concept of doing a show with either um, Savan or say Santos Bonacci. It would be difficult to do a show because all three of us would need to talk. uh, Daniel Benson. No, I'm not aware of Lisa Brown. No. Well, shit. Hey, MK? Do you know Frater like that? Like outside of just the internet world? Do you know him, or you just? I've talked to him a little bit over email. I'm sure we'd do a show, and that's what I've been trying to figure out lately as a way to do this a little from something else, rather than YouTube, so I could, split a screen with somebody. Interesting. You got the fleas going on. I got some funny bugs here recently too. Just little kind of creatures I ain't seen too much. Changing the seasons here, so fleas. Maybe try doing a. I said this to somebody the other day. Maybe try doing like a feng shui ritual, where you take like a. I used a copper bowl, or not a copper, but a brass bowl. Is the easiest. Use any kind of bowl really. Put some salt in it, salt of your choice, and then either some really high octane alcohol or some rubbing alcohol really works. Not 90%, but isopropyl. Um, 2-to-1 ratio. More two parts alcohol to 1 part salt, and burn that. It'll do a lot for the sound of the room. It'll burn off a lot of energies, and yeah, that might do something for helping that. Tiny Chat, Codeine Tommy. Tiny Chat, I'll check it out. Okay, and when you do that, how would I get in contact? Because I don't want to have to, some of these other things, I got to get everybody's email and invite them. I don't know how it would go. Like maybe I do like a thing on here where I just tell everybody to sign up for it or whatever. I don't know. Like I told everybody, I'm doing this from like a half of the time. Most of the time, I'm on a phone doing this. So it's kind of, it's a little more, it's a little, I don't have a keyboard and everything. I don't got like a giant setup. All right, MK. Well, maybe I'll just hit him up and ask him. I was supposed to do a talk with Vesuvius quite a few times. I don't know. We just didn't link up. It'll work out when the timing's right, though. Me and Vesuvius will have a good chat, I'm sure too. Okay, so I can just start my own tiny chat room, and then like I can come on to here and just say, hey yo, I'm on tiny chat. Go over there. See the part of it too. The dilemma. See the easy thing here is um, I already have a few subscribers on here. It's odd because it really only like the same people show up and only like all my videos. I don't know. It seems like a lot of people have been telling me that my subscription, their subscription to me got shut off. So that's why I'm like, I used to see people. I'm like, oh, where the fuck did they go? I see a lot of people saying, damn, they had to resub to me. It was very funny. So I know that shit happens. Anyways, so whenever I do shows, it's kind of like spur of the moment. So I don't know how that would work, if how well that would work somewhere else, you know? Because if they're not already following me on there, they're not going to get the notification. It's easy on here. Everybody, catches the notification that I'm doing a show. Yeah, uplifting humanity is Vesuvius. Yeah. Yeah, I would do it on the Katesh. We definitely do that. You got Unstance. You got unsubscribed. Did you get unsubscribed from me? Are these all channels that are saying some like high tech kind of truthy shit? That's where it tends to happen. They always be going after them channels. Yeah, man. Katesh, you got unsub for me too. Yeah, it's very funny. I would say there's a little bit more of some sort of I used to think of it in a bad way. Yeah, I used to think of it in a bad way, but then I just flipped my mind on it. I said, you know what? I don't want to have to deal with you know 50,000 subs and people coming that aren't really on the level. I'd rather be talking to people that are on the level that I don't want to have arguments with people. I don't want to have people. To be honest, like I don't want to hear the dissenting bullshit because it just detracts from everything that's going on. It's like I don't mind it. I don't care. Like I don't care to talk about it. Like I'll argue with anybody. It's fun for me. I don't mind. But in the sense of like everybody else's benefit of catching whatever I got to say, I'd rather have only 100 people come to these things. You know, I mean it'd be nice to have a little more than the same 30 people, but that's why you have to invite your friends and family, and we'll turn this into a fucking barbecue. Natasha, keep it small and tight. I'm just giggling because I'm a boy. Keep them kegels going, like Katesh told you. Yay, yay, yay. So yeah, what you all if you want anything to if you want me to chat on anything, feel free to put a quarter into the machine and ask the tarot reader a question. What song is that you think of? How to grow taller. Snapchat me that pussy. I'm gonna start with Aldrin's question, I'll get to Unstance. Yeah, that's cool. Zach Cronin, that's awesome. Have you put him on to like my early couple long videos on like what magic is really about and how the church works and how to make different sigils and shit? Like when I was doing those long videos with kind of more pictures and shit on it. That's if he doesn't know like that, that's even if he's already into magic, I think it breaks it down real nice. Let me get to your how to grow taller, cause how to grow taller. Um, how to be a baller. If I had a girl, she would look good and I would call her. Well, let's think of it this way. Your body reproduces itself. Certainly, um, most 90% of it within I believe 90 days. I don't want to get, the numbers might be off here, but I was somewhere hearing that it's pretty much certain that within 9 months even the bones have reconstituted themselves. It used to be thought it was 7 years, and now it's, a lot of some scientists are out saying it's 9 months, which would make sense to me because that's how long it takes to make a baby. So if you use the same concept of making the small version of you, making the what the alchemists would call the oh man, it's right there on the tip of my brain. It's the yeah, I'm not gonna get the name, but the idea is you'd mentally image it and think about like correcting or changing yourself in 9 months, and the types of physical things you could do to do that. Because everything in you is built out of your blood and your DNA, you'd have to reprogram your DNA with thoughts, and you'd have to reprogram your body with physical elements of nutrition, and growth hormone. How does growth hormone happen? Through fasting. When you fast, you immediately start producing more HGH. You're after a fast, you're producing more of it. And I think there's a lot of things that stop growth from happening, and I think a lot of it is psychological. But if you can get shorter, over the course of a life, you can get taller. Well, the only thing that stops is people just have that. They've firmly planted that belief in their system. So, I think it's as much psychological as anything. It'd have to be something you'd have to meditate on and know that it would take you at least a year to 9 months to notice. You may be in 3 months, but probably like 9 months to really notice a difference. If you really got into it and that was your focus, that was what you wanted and needed to do, I don't know how much you could change it. I don't know. I think getting into like electrical stimulation and melanin would probably help. I think a lot of it too might have to do with how tense the tension of the tendons in your body, that might be holding your bones from growing longer in a sense, really, So I think loosening that up and getting into things that would lengthen those things would allow your bones to actually express themselves large. But that's a long-term, very big question, and but that's a fun one to think about. I'll do some meditating on it and see if I can figure anything out. Unstance, when are you getting laid again? No. How do I feel about that? What month is it? Where are you at now, Unstance? You got a girlfriend or a boyfriend? I don't know how you get down. Whatever, it's all good. Do you got any of that? Give me a call. I'm doing this off my head. I'm not actually throwing any cards. I'm gonna do this. So you can do reductive or deductive reasoning
and that's part of the way that people instill a little bit of psychology into the tarot game. But I'm just going to try to read it that way. And MK, how do you become sexy to women? I think I think you got women in the room that could answer that better than I could. But, confidence goes a long way. Not giving a fuck goes a long way too. And a general sense of, you know, just like if you take care of yourself, it looks like you take care of somebody else. So there's kind of that involved, right? Funny is good too, but if you ain't already funny, funny is something you don't get to figure out. Funny is something you got or you don't got it. It's like the uncoordinated kid that thinks that somehow he's just going to be good at a sport, or especially like good at being at basketball. Nah, you ain't you don't that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Funny is you got it or you don't got it. But if you got a little bit of funny, use that, man. Yeah, sexy is and remember this, sexy is different to different people, you know? Set chrono. B Frank, what's up? Why are people confused about what to eat? I mean, that's all infused to that's infused in people from the time they're born. I think that's why. I think that's a very simple concept, that it's just habitual things. Like, I know, think of it this: I'm nearing my fourth decade here, and I know about as much as anybody on what to and when to and how to eat. Yet I choose to do other things. So, you know, I think it has to do with the culture we're in, about immediate gratification and planting seeds. Most people don't plant seeds, and they want immediate gratification. So I don't think it's necessarily confusion about what to eat, as much as a pleasure reward scenario. Yeah, people want to eat anything, even ass. That's right. But yeah, I mean, some chicks' booties need to be eaten, though. Let's be honest. Zet Chronos. So our inherent genes don't matter? No, because genes don't matter. Genes are not as you know. Really, that's a whole talk in itself. But no, this is why you find people that just how is that kid taller than his mom and dad? How is it shorter than his mom and dad? How is there's a lot of things that are well beyond our understanding, but it seems like it has a lot more to do with consciousness and directing. You know, if a seed isn't growing, it's not the seed's fault; it's the environment. Just being in a new environment, you might be able to be taller. You know, I mean, as crazy as that is. Natasha, you asked me, can I talk about the ark and the arches and the angels? Michael, Gabriel, Daniel. Um, sure. Arcs, arches, and angels. I suspect and suppose you mean it like literally from those beings, but I'll put my little spin on it and say that arcs and archons and um, archetypes. This is all. The word arc is about the word car. It's an arc of light. It's it's a space. So these arcs that bring you places, or these archons, or these dividing lines, or energies, or what you'd call as an angel, is a little different. An angel, as opposed to an archon, or an archetype holds space as a specific large graph. Like, for instance, if you're looking at the screen right now, there's a bunch of bubbles on it. We'll use these bubbles as references here. Um, the archon would be essentially the entire screen where it's black. Every one of those bubbles would be a spirit or an angel. The space that it's traveling in between is the archonic space, the archetype. It's like to say someone's born as a Gemini in June. That would be the whole space. The specific thing, the spirit, would be the angle or the angel, the angle of light that is now held within that little bubble, which becomes you as a being. So you're a spirit, you're an angel, you're an angle of light. You're a demon too. You know, this is the talk of angels and demons. It's just a matter of the frequency of the light, the angle of the light coming into the bubble when you were born. So in the sense of arcs and archons, that's just the larger overarching area. You could think of it in this way. There's a space in between what you think of as sound and what you think of as smell and what you think of as taste, what you think of as playing a piano, right? You could be going all the way up the keys and get to a really high note until you couldn't hear it anymore. And then you could keep going up that keyboard and keep going to a place that you would hit a note and you'd get a smell out of it because they're all frequencies. Yet there's a spot in between the frequencies that doesn't seem to exist. It does exist. You know, you get even to a place on a keyboard where a dog can hear the sound, but you can't. That's crazy. So at what point does that sound, which is, let's say, 528 megahertz, and then all of a sudden we get into 52,000 kilohertz, and that becomes a smell. It's still a frequency. It's still a modulation. What's in between that time and space? What's in that area? That's some sort of archon. It's like in between the space. It holds, like, what's going on there? It exists. There's a frequency there, but we can't identify it. And that's kind of what an archon is. It's in this unidentifiable space. It's like building a bridge over water. That's leaping over an archon. It's the few videos that I've done on synesthesia, like binding sounds to colors, to having an idea of knowing why the sound that you're hearing is actually connected to a taste that's connected to a color, because it really is. And that's bridging through the harmonics. It's bridging through what would be the space in between spaces. But it's specifically like Michael, Gabriel, Daniel. As you could break those down, they have specific meanings and functions. But if I went into the work of, say, Neville Goddard, they're just states of being, states of consciousness. Everything that we might look at in the Bible are just states of being, places to be. But these are more specific, larger patterns that people have. The same way we could look at all of the different signs in the zodiac. They're just larger templates. Yeah. Alabama, talking to a few women. How many of them are your cousin? Boom. Instance. How about this? Let me make it easier. Which ones aren't your cousins? Hey. Okay, then I guess I got to include your sister too. How far am I going to go with this one? Yeah, I'm just taking, these are easy ones. I'm just taking softball pitches. And you probably get laid. Do you often get laid? Is this even a thing? You look like a funny guy. You look like you got a personality. Probably, I don't know why 3 weeks seems to be the number that pops up in my head. I think inside of 3 weeks, before Halloween. It's going to be right around Halloween. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you are funny. I knew this. Yeah, it's going to be before Halloween. Yeah, I assumed you were funny as Dick. Yeah. Oh, and I was just scrolling back up, and yeah, I'll see about doing that show with Vesuvius soon. I was just trying to get my channel kind of grounded out. I was moving, dealing with some personal shit and whatever, so I wasn't really about doing shows with people. And again, I don't know who's on here that heard me talk about this before. I'm supposed to be doing a show with the Sun and Moon Group, which is basically a bunch of flat earthers and Santos Bonacci. But I don't know if I want to do it. Just kind of in the middle on it. MK licking ass. That will, yeah, that's always the way to go. Zach Cronin, a dick that works out. That's what women want. It does help, man. It does help. I mean, well, I mean, I would assume it helps. I've never been a dick that works out, so I never went that route. I always felt like if I did, it would that would be like a cheat code. It'd be too easy. And love Katesh. Yeah, I did too. A dick exercising with one of those sweat headbands on. MK, yeah, let me go grab my cards for you in a second. Give me a second, my dude. What up, Jordan? I'm so excited for tomorrow. Hopefully this thing gets here before the goddamn, let me rephrase that. Hopefully the package gets here before the hurricane does. Unless I do something about stopping it. I'm still, I kind of want to see it, but I kind of want to stop it. I don't know. Because if I stop it, then the black helicopter is going to show up and I'm going to be in like a special ops program and y'all ain't going to see me for a bit because they're going to be like, how the fuck did you stop that hurricane? So I don't know if I want all that. Oh, Natasha, for sure. And if you want me to go a different direction on that, we can too. I know I'm well behind on this because I'm scrolling, but that's fucking funny. A walking penis with a smaller dick on it. And what if we incepted that? What if even that dick was? What if even a smaller dick was working out? And his dick had a dick. What up, Zen Ra? More on fixed stars, archons, and thoughts on SETI. Feedback noise. Yeah, I'll get into that in a second. How far am I behind here? Yeah, give me a second. I'll roll back to that because that's a big one. And I also want to pour myself another drink. Have I read the book called Yes, I have. Fuck, you know what's funny? I gave it away to somebody because somebody was, I don't know why. There's a lot of books whenever I'm carrying them and somebody will look at me and be very interested in me as a person. So whatever's in my hand, I suppose, is theirs. So I gave away Walden like that. I gave away the Kabbalion like that. Yeah. Instance, what did you add to your cart? That one they were selling you? Oh damn, Instance, we got, man. I wish I could keep up with these jokes because these are good. A transgendered walking penis. That's amazing. Well, you got to think a walking penis would already have a pussy at the top of its head, you know? That little slit up. Yeah, okay. Now we're going crazy with it. Yeah, I'm on. Yeah, Natasha, Black Ops. Yeah, I'm on some like Joseph Technicolor Dreamcoat. It'd have to be like the Rainbow Coalition or some shit. Fractal Dick Universe. Fractal Dick. Fractal Dick Technologies. Love Katesh. I think you know how you feel. I think you don't know how you think on it. That's a tough one. Yeah, it is a tough one. MK, that would probably be 100% right, as considering they are melanated and basically trees themselves. So they're definitely going to be more connected to the melanation of, say, barks of trees and the mushrooms and shit. And then let me go back up to Zen Ra. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go pour myself a drink and then I'll answer your question because that's a big one. Zet Chrono, he said, Nigger G. That's funny. Connected closer to the tree. I'll be right back, y'all. I'm gonna go pee into something. I'm gonna sit up over here for y'all. Let me see. Somebody want me to pull the card, and I gotta talk about that other shit. Let's see here. Let me flip this around. Let me see what I can do for y'all. Let me see. There we go. Let's see if this is gonna work up here. We gonna play a balancing. Oh shit! Look at that, balancing games here. See if I can do this right here. I might have to hold this myself. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna Zemra. Let me pull this card real quick because your question gonna be a little more than these cards will. These cards will be quick. Question will take a while. Oh shit! There. Yep. Knew that was about to happen.
Are you all still alive? There it is. There we go. Let me see what I gotta do here. I'm gonna probably just have to hold this. We're gonna do this quick because I don't feel like holding this damn thing. I'm too zooted for this. I got a nice little buzz working, so. Alright, let me, who asked me about pulling a card for something? And then Zenra will get on to the fixed stars and archons and stuff. Oh, MK, you asked me to go to Cali. Okay. We're gonna make it quick. I'm gonna scroll to the bottom, MK. Here we at. Yeah. Okay, here. This Cali thing. What do you want me to pull from the pagans, or you want to play? You want to play from the pagans, or you want me to go with the? Which ones you want? Red or blue? Red or blue? This is red or blue pill. You know. You want the blood of the crypt. The red or the blue pill. You want the fire. You want the ice. Man, whatever I feel, MK. I feel a little stoned, so I don't know. I'm a little in the in between zone right now. I'm a little arcanish right now, I guess would be the word. So I need you. Thank you for helping me with the input here. Okay, I'm gonna you ain't gonna get to see the shuffle this time. Sorry, because this is just I got to get myself a new tripod for my phone. I broke the other day.
What up, Codeine? Let's see. I mean, y'all here already know I ain't doing nothing stupid with the cards. Y'all, most of you here. Oh, let me get these bubbles off the screen for you. Let's see. Make it fun though. Should you move to Cali? Cali. We'll go with the normal one right here. Okay. I'm gonna split it there. I think I like I like this one right here. And so, do you want like just a yes or no answer, MK? You want just like a yes or no, and the way that will work, it will be like, you tell me if like masculine or feminine comes up, and then that's a yes or no. Do you want to just like a you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna do it for you. There's too many questions here. Boop. There it is. Here's your answer. Let's see. And there it is. That is the Empress. The third card of the tarot. The Empress. Let me give you a little better view of that. And now right off the bat, you can glean from this what you may. I'll tell you what the card means, but because you asked the questions so specifically, and because the cards tend to be like not for specific questions unless I use the minor arcana to kind of move you around, this kind of gives you an overarching thing, like a feeling about something. And I would say, whatever that feels like to you. Oh, look at this. And I got cookies over here too. Oh shit. I forgot I got cookies too. Looking over here. And so that's the Virgin and the baby. And so from my reading, from where I'm at, if even though you wanted a specific answer, this is it's a yes. It's a prosperity or a revelation of moving towards whatever your next step is. So, like, yeah, you probably should. That seems to be the point. You just, yeah, pretty much. I mean, you're born. It's not necessarily a rebirth. A lot of different cards are more of a rebirth. This is the birth, like you're birthed into something. So it's whatever it would be doing. If it's for a job or whatever, it would definitely last. It would definitely work. It would definitely it's good. It's a good idea. Not even just like a slightly little good idea. That's like, yeah. Let me see. And I'm going to scroll back up and see what I missed. Zet Krona. I got up at Zet Kronas are fuck trannies. They're disgusting. I'm sorry, but I'm not. Are you right on, Zet? You know, I mean, it's, you know, they're quite confused, and their brains are real destroyed by society to get to that point. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Oh, here in Hollywood. Yeah, I love Katesh. It's a mental disorder for damn sure. And we all do have mental disorders to some point. Some people just, you know, some people's tipping point is a gun to the skull. Some is cutting off their wee. Some is you know, there's a billion different things that people do to deal with the the mental and physical and spiritual enslavement on this planet, you know. Some people do a lot of different things. Some people go on unhealthy diets. Some people do drugs. Some people, you know, there's all sorts of things to feel like they can fix themselves. Everybody was born into sin, you know, thinking they weren't done right. Yeah. Zach Chrono, I like it. I like what you're saying there. I do wonder about a legit third gender. Yeah, you'd call that me. It's beyond gender. Hit up Codeine Tommy. And Unstons, I think that's the exact answer, you know? Yeah, they are political because there's such a small number of them anyways. To like, who the fuck cares? But it is definitely a result of the diseased culture that we're in, and how much we've been poisoned to someone to get to that point. Uh-oh. Let's see what happened here. Oh, looky. Oh, this is terrible. Anybody ever done this? Anybody ever done this? Look at that. Damn it all to hell. I put it, and it ain't even a real beer. It's a ginger beer. Ah. Ruined my day. Well, oh well. Let's see, where are we at here? Okay, there it is. Ascended. How very funny. Yeah, I think as in a sine wave. I like that. Did it? AT about like 40. I think it's funny. It's like something like 42. There we go. Because it expands, it keeps the water warmer. Let me put this down now. See if my connection it gets changed up here. Let's see. Here we go. Let me come over here. This will do a little better. Okay. This. That is one of the big dilemmas with anything, right? You know, like at what point does it really do a number on the next generation? Like we've already been poisoned with the pharmaceuticals, right? I don't know if y'all can hear. Can you still hear me? Yeah, you hear me? No. Oh man, MK. Yeah, my connection keeps going out. Yeah, let me see. Let me try to go in here real quick. How about now? Y'all hear me here? Better in here? I don't know why. It's telling me I have good. Can you hear me now? Am. See. Okay.
is the stuff. If you can still hear me, anybody? Yeah, it's buffering. Hey, let me. If you, I wish I could type something in here to y'all. I don't know why I can't type anything. I'm gonna try. Yeah, the ginger beer. Ginger beer did it. It was the gingerbread man, huh? I don't know if you can hear me, so I'm gonna go over to this right now. If you still wanna fuck around in here, I'm gonna start this tab up right here on my phone. So we'll see. If y'all can't hear me here, I think I can walk in a different place with this. But if not, love. Oh yeah, I jumped on this other one. It's working. It might be this computer. Hear me? Bug out for a minute. Yep, for a little. What up, Gary? Everybody out here, hear me? I'm the thing. What up, Dylon? Hold on a second. I'm over here, y'all. Feel free to jump over on that. It says here now. So, what up, Dylan Stanton?